Shalom, shalom, Yahshua. All praises to Yahweh Mashiach. Indeed, His mercy endures forever. Welcome to Life or Death. We are your servants from the Light of Zion. Welcome to Life or Death. Life or Death is a show that we present to you every week. It's a weekly show. We go over a subject in the truth. I'm going to give you a couple minutes to log in so we can start the class in about 2 minutes. Currently, we are preparing for Passover 2023. Those of you who have been watching The Light of Zion, you know that we are doing our utmost best to make sure that Passover 2023 is a success for the Most High through our Mashiach. Let us start with the book of Colossians, chapter 3 and verse 17. Know that this class is an interactive class where you ask questions about the subject that is on the table. The subject that we are going to talk about is Prelude to Passover 2023. Prelude to Passover 2023. Let's start with the book of Colossians, chapter 3 and verse 17, to give thanks to the Most High through His Son Hamashiach Yahushua. The book of Colossians, chapter 3 and verse 17. And whatsoever ye do, in word or deed, do all in the name of the Adonai Hamashiach, giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by Him. The Most High commands us to do, God commands us to do everything to Him by Hamashiach. Let's see why. Let's go to the book of John, chapter 14 and verse 6. John, the 14th chapter and the 6th verse. The book of John, chapter 14 and verse 6. Hamashiach said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. For us to have access to the Father, we ought to, we must, we have to, and we should go to Hamashiach. We should go through Hamashiach for us to have access to the Father. Let's see where we get the name for the show. Let's go to the book of Baruch, the 4th chapter and the 1st verse. This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of the Most High, and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. When we choose to stray away from the laws of God, we must expect death to follow us. We must expect evil happenings to come on our ways, because keeping God's laws bring life. Staying away from the laws of God, not applying the laws of God in our life, brings death. Hence the title of the class, Prelude to Passover 2023. For those of you, the two of you who are currently watching, what is the Passover according to the Bible? According to the Bible, what is the Passover? Or what does the Passover entail for us who are the real Jews? Let's go to the book of Exodus, chapter 12 and verse 1. The book of Exodus, chapter 12 and verse 1. And the Most High spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, this month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, in the 10th day of this month, they shall take to them every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for an house. Verse 4. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your count for the lamb. So every family, every household should do that. And if the house, verse 5, your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year, you shall take it from the sheep or from the goats, and ye shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. Meaning, in the evening, we are going to kill the lamb. In this captivity, we are going to do our best. Verse 7, and they shall take of the blood and strike it on the two side posts and on the upper posts of the houses, wherein ye shall eat it. And they shall eat the flesh in the night, roast with fire, and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs, they shall eat it. If it is Yazoo to a Mashiach, we are going to have unleavened bread and bitter herbs. Verse 9, eat not of it raw, nor sodden, at all with water, but roast with fire. This year, we are going to cook the lamb whole, in that we are going to try this year. Why? Let's go to the book of Judges, chapter 5, verse 11. Let's see what the Most High says to us. Judges, chapter 5, verse 11. This is the book of Judges, chapter 5, verse 11. They that are delivered from the noise of archers in the places of drawing water, means that in the places where we are slaves at, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Most High. This is what we are doing. We are doing our best to rehearse the righteous act, to keep the Passover according to the Bible. Exodus chapter 12 and verse 10. And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning, and that which remaineth of it until the morning ye shall burn with fire. We hope that we have nothing left of the lamb, because if there is any remaining of the lamb, we are to burn it before the sun goes up. Verse 15. Let's see verse 14. Let's see why we have to keep the Passover. Verse 14. The book of Exodus, chapter 12, and verse 14. And this day shall be unto you for a memorial, meaning something that we have to remember. And ye shall keep it a feast to the Most High for your generations. And ye shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever. Forever we ought to do that. Because on that day, the Most High Mashiach took us out of the land of Egypt. Verse 15. 7 days ye shall eat unleavened bread. Even the first day ye shall put away leaven out of your houses. Meaning, to prepare for the Passover, anything that has yeast in it, you must take it out of your house. There should be no leaven found in your house for 7 days. Israel, this is something we can do. This is something that we can do for the Most High through HaMashiach. Anything that has yeast in it, anything that can cause a dough to rise, take it out of your house. This is what God says. Remember, we are rehearsing the righteous acts of the Most High through HaMashiach. Let's go to the book of Leviticus chapter 23. Leviticus chapter 23 outlines the ceremonial laws. Leviticus chapter 23, and let us at verse 14, verse 1. The book of Leviticus, chapter 23 and verse 1. And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel. God is speaking to us. The Passover is our feast. It does not belong to the other nations. This is our feast. Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them concerning the feasts of the Most High, which ye shall proclaim. The word proclaim means to make known, to publish, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations. The Passover is a holy convocation, meaning it is a set apart gathering. All of us who are Israelite born, we are to get together on that day. Therefore, if you choose not to keep the Passover, you are in sin. Because sin is the breaking of God's commandments. God says for the feast of Passover, we have to keep that feast. If you don't keep it, because somehow you think in your mind that we are not in Jerusalem, therefore we are not to keep the Passover, you are sadly mistaken. You choose to sin willingly. Verse 14. Verse 5. Verse 4. These are the feasts of the Most High, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons. Verse 5. In the 14th day of the first month, at even, is the Lord's Passover, is the Most High's Passover. At the light of Zion, on the 2nd of April, 2023, we are going to keep the Passover at Chateau de Mort in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. All of you who are Israelite born, you are invited. This is a feast that we are to keep. The Most High commands us to keep that feast. Verse 6. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto the Most High. 7 days he must eat unleavened bread. The first day is called Passover, but the entire feast for the 7 days is called Feast of Unleavened Bread. Verse 7, in the first day ye shall have an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein. Meaning on that day, we are not to do any work for money. But ye, verse 8, but ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Most High 7 days. In the 7th day is an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein. Meaning the first day is a holy convocation. The last day of the feast is also a holy convocation. These are days that the Most High set. These are days that the Most High sets for us to get together. If you refuse to get together with your people, you go astray from the laws of God. You choose to follow after your own thought. Verse 8, but ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Most High 7 days. In the 7th day is an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work. This is the day that we have to get together, Israel. On that day, which will be for us the 2nd of April, we are going to be at Chateau de Mort. The feast will start at sundown. By 7, everything should be ready for us to start. Israel, if you are able to come to the feast. Many of you have been watching the Light of Zion for years. Many of you have had time offs. Use those PTO days to keep that feast, to come to Florida. In fact, right now, the weather in Florida is not hot nor cold. Many of you who are in Georgia, or in Ohio, or in Iowa, or in Mississippi, or in North Carolina, if you are able to come to the feast, be on site. One more thing that we do have, the hotel gives us some discounted rooms, and we are able to get some rooms at a discounted price for you. All you have to do is call this number, 754-367-4052. I'm going to put it in the chat right now. For the Light of Zion. 754-367-4052. That is the number that you can call, and we will guide you on what to prepare for this, on what to prepare and what to bring to Florida. We already have the rooms ready for you. Why? Let's go to the book of 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 2. Let's see what God says. Now in this epistle, Peter was telling our people some good stuff. Was telling our people how the leaders should be taking care of the people. Let's see what we at the Light of Zion, let's see what we are doing. We are doing our best to apply the scriptures in our life. The book of First Peter, chapter 5 and verse 1. The elders which are among you I exhort, who am also an elder, a witness of the sufferings of Hamashiach. Remember, Peter walked with Hamashiach, and also a partaker of the glory that shall be revealed. Verse 2. Feed the flock of the Most High, which is among you, taking oversight thereof, meaning check on the people, check to see what is going on in their life. Call them, ask questions, have things available for them. For instance, those of you who want to come to South Florida to keep the Passover with us, we have rooms at a discounted price available for you. Not by constraint, meaning it is not something that people are forcing us to do, or we are doing it with any unwillingness, not by constraint, but willingly, not for filthy lucre. We are trying to get over you, but on a ready mind. This is something that we want to do. This is something that we are commanded to do. This is our duty. Verse 4. And when the chief shepherd shall appear, the chief shepherd is a Mashiach. And when the chief shepherd shall appear, ye shall receive a crown of glory that fadeth not away. So this is why we are doing this. We don't teach you God's laws just for teaching them to you. We are commanded to do so. God commands us to do so. Let's see what God, let's go to the book of Daniel, chapter 11 and verse 33. The book of Daniel, chapter 11 and verse 33. And they that understand among the people shall instruct many. We are here to teach you. Why? Romans 10 and verse 14. Let's see what Paul had to say to our brothers and sisters that were in Rome. The book of Romans, chapter 10 and verse 14. How then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard? And how shall they hear without a preacher? Meaning, how can our people listen? How can they give ear to the word of God if nobody is sent to teach them? If nobody is there to teach them the word of God? Verse 15. And how shall they preach except they be sent? The Most High sends us to teach our people. That's why we apply Luke 14 verse 23. Let's go to the book of Luke, chapter 14 and verse 23. The book of Luke, chapter 14 and verse 23. And the other one said unto the servant, Go out into the highways and hedges, and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled. Meaning, grab them to come. Brother Jenny, shalom, my dear brother. When should leaven be taken out of the house? My brother, starting today. Starting today. Why? Remember, we have to do this before Passover. And you know, as a soldier, being on time is being late. Therefore, starting today, on my part, I'm going to take out anything that has yeast from my house. Meaning any soda that I have, I'll make sure that I drink it way before Passover, way before April the 2nd, as early as possible. Because remember, at any time we can forget. Therefore, let us try to do things way ahead of time. Because we are soldiers of the Most High. For us, being on time is being late. Therefore, let us do it. That's why the title of the class is Prelude for Passover 2023. Meaning, the word prelude means something you do way before the main thing occurs. Therefore, my dear brother, starting today, anything that has yeast in your house, take it out. And also, let's be in Passover mode. Passover mode means that you are ready for Passover. You already have all your everything that you need. For instance, at Delight of Zion, the price per adult is $75. If you have a family of 4, the price is $150. For any additional child, who is from 12 and above, you will pay $25. Those of you who want to keep Passover with us, make sure you get your funds in. Because remember, Israel, we are going to incur a lot of expenses. We already have the lamps. We already have the place. All these require us to spend money. That's why Israel, as much as you can, or as less as you can, donate to this ministry. Don't just donate to donate. Before you donate, check to see if the Light of Zion is using your money to further the gospel. Remember, the word gospel means good news. Check to see if we are putting videos up where we are in the streets teaching the people. Check to see if we have live stream classes available for you. Don't just donate like that. No, Israel. Be careful. Be smart. Be smart. Be clever. Be clever with your money. Don't just donate to donate. Let's go to the book of Mark. Let's go to the book of Mark. According to various historians, they say that the book of Mark, which has 16 chapters, is the first book of the gospel that was written. Meaning that they say that it is in the New Testament. The New Testament has 27 books. According to several historians, between the books of John, Matthew, and Luke, and Mark, the book of Mark is the first book of the gospel that was written. Let's see what Hamashiach did. Let's go to the book of Mark, chapter 14, we're going to start from verse 12 to 25. Let's see what, in fact, let's go to John first, John 2 and verse 13. Let's see what Hamashiach did. The book of John, chapter 2 and verse 13. John chapter 2 and verse 13. I'll at verse 11. This beginning of miracles did Hamashiach in Cana of Galilee, and manifested forth his glory, and his disciples believed on him. Verse 12, John chapter 2 and verse 12. After this, he went down to Capernaum, he and his mother and his brethren and his disciples, and they continued there not many days. Verse 13. And the Jews' Passover was at hand, and Hamashiach went up to Jerusalem. That means the most Hamashiach kept the Passover. Let's go now. Mark 14 and verse 12 all the way to 25. Remember, in the New Testament, we have 4 books in the gospel. Meaning, the word gospel means good news. We have Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. The book of Mark, chapter 14 and verse 12. And the first day of unleavened bread, means the Passover. Remember, the feast is called, the 7-day feast is called Feast of Unleavened Bread. But the first day is called Passover. Because the angel of the Most High passed over us to kill all the firstborn of the Egyptians. Verse 12. And the first day of unleavened bread, when they killed the Passover, his disciples said unto him, where wilt thou that we go and prepare that thou mayest eat the Passover? We just saw in John 2 verse 13 that Hamashiach kept the Passover. Also, Mark is also reporting that Hamashiach kept the Passover. So Israel, if Hamashiach, who was sinless, kept the Passover, what should we do? Because that's something very good. Let's go to the book of Acts, chapter 11, verse 26. They use this name to mark us, but in a way to ridicule us, in a way to make fun of us, but what are we? If we are the followers of Hamashiach, we are the students of Hamashiach, what are we? Let's go to the book of Acts, chapter 11 and verse 26. The book of Acts, chapter 11 and verse 26. And when he had found him, he brought him unto Antioch, the name is Paul. And it came to pass that a whole year they assembled themselves with the church and taught much people. And the disciples, meaning those people who were following Hamashiach, were called Christians first in Antioch. In the word Christians, the root word is Christ. Therefore, if you are a true follower of Christ, you are a Christian. Therefore, if we are true followers of Christ, we are the true Christians that the Bible speaks of, we are to keep the Passover. Because Hamashiach kept the Passover. Now, for those of you who are currently watching, what are you doing for the Passover? What are you setting up in place for those 7 days? Because remember, God says this. Let's go to the book of Exodus 12 again. Let's see what we should be doing. Exodus chapter 12 and verse 3. Speak unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, saying, in the 10th day, verse 6, we shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall keep it in the evening. Verse 10, verse 11, thus shall you eat it with your loins girded, meaning that you have to dress up, your shoes on your feet, you have to have your boots on, and your staff in your hand. My staff is in my palm. Therefore, you men, this is something that you can do. Any staff you can get. Have something. Already have my armbands. Already have my boots. Already have my staff. For those of you who are currently watching, what are you preparing for the Passover? I mean, how are you preparing for your Passover? On my side, I already have my shoes. I already have my staff. What are you preparing? Put it in the chat. What are you preparing? Starting today, I will do my best to take out anything that has yeast in my dwelling. We have to reverse the righteous acts. Let us do this for the Most High through Mashiach. Let us show him that we do care about the Passover. Because the Passover, after we ate the Passover, the Most High through Mashiach allowed us to leave Egypt. So we cannot take the Passover like this, like that. It is an important feast. Verse 15, 7 days shall we eat unleavened bread. Meaning for 7 days, we have to eat unleavened bread. What does that mean? That means for 7 days, we must not eat anything that has yeast in it. For 7 days, we have to eat unleavened bread. That also means every day you ought to eat a piece of unleavened bread. That is very easy, Israel. That is very easy and simple. That means if you have unleavened bread, every day you wake up, you eat a piece of unleavened bread. That's it. Remember, we have to reverse the righteous acts of the Most High. Like we saw in the Sabbath lesson last Saturday. Let us be pleasant in the Most High, in the eyes of God. Let us be of a sweet savor in the eyes of our power. Let us make him glad. This is a major problem that we have in Israel. We do not want to make God happy. We do not want to make the Most High through our Mashiach happy. That is a major problem. How do you make God happy? By keeping his laws. How do you become his friends? By keeping his laws. John 14, verse 15. Let's see what Hamashiach told us in the Spirit of God. The book of John, chapter 14 and verse 15. Now, whenever you are reading the Bible, if the writings are in red, these are the word of Hamashiach straight out of his mouth. John chapter 14, verse 15. If you love me, keep my commandments. So if we say that we love the Lord, we love God, let us apply God's commandments in our life. If we say that we have love for God through Christ, let us show it in our actions. Do you know why? Let's see why. Let's go to the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 2 and verse 3. Let's see what kind of power that we are serving. Let's see how this power judges us. The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 2 and verse 3. Talk no more, so exceeding proudly. Let not arrogancy come out of your mouth. For the Most High is the power of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed. So he doesn't care about all your talk. All your talk. Say you are going to keep the Passover. No. All he cares about is your actions. Are you going to keep the Passover? Are you going to do your utmost best, your due diligence to keep the Passover to the best of your ability? My first Passover, I was unable to come to the Light of Zion. I had to keep it in my own house. I had to find a way to keep it. And thanks to Yahweh Mashiach, I kept it to the best of my ability. You can do the same. If you are unable to get together with some brothers and sisters, do your best to keep it by yourself or with your family. Let us rehearse the righteous acts according to Judges 5 verse 11. Have my outfit, need to get my stuff and remove the leaven. That is good, my brother. We are to start somewhere. We don't have to break a bank to keep the Passover. Any stuff that you can get, my new brother. If you find a broom that you don't use anymore, you are able to fashion it somehow, some way. Hey, bring this as your stuff. You find that broom, you take the stake, hey, use it as your stuff. Do not try to find excuses not to keep the Passover. Because when you do so, what are you doing? You are attracting the judgment of the Most High on you. Why? Because you are sinning willingly. You are sinning willingly. Because the feast of Passover, for that feast, we are commanded to keep it. It is a holy convocation. It is a set apart gathering. When Israel all praises to Yahweh Mashiach, like the title of the class is Prelude to Passover 2023. That means preparation, things that are being set for the performance day, which is April the 2nd, 2023. Those of you who are away from the Light of Zion, meaning that those of you who are away from Florida, If you are able to come, please do so. We already have some rooms at a discounted price for you. We already have the lamps ready for you. We already have the spot ready for you in the Most High through Hamashiach. Therefore, let us keep the feast. That means, starting today, let us take out yeast from us. Meaning, any little issue that you have with a brother or a sister, resolve that ASAP. Also, any yeast that you have in your house, take it out of your house. Meaning, any soda that you have, drink it way before the 2nd of April. Let us do that for the Most High through Hamashiach. Let us show the Most High through Hamashiach that we are willing to keep His commandments, that we are willing to apply. That's what God says. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 5 and verse 1. The book of Deuteronomy chapter 5 and verse 1. The word Deuteronomy means second law or second introduction of the law. Because many laws or many commandments that you find in Deuteronomy, you will also find them in Exodus or Leviticus. Shalom, Sister Zakia, Banat Adwan. Shalom, my dear sister, Shalom. Welcome to sunny South Florida. Let's see what God says. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 5 and verse 1. When my sister, since you are already on site, write in the chat so far, how do you feel in South Florida? How is it? Is it like Arizona? No, I guess it is better than Arizona. Let us know how it is. Because all places to after Mashiach Israel, we believe in brotherhood. That's what God says. Let's go to the book of Hebrews 13 verse 1 first. That's what God says. Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 1. The book of Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 1. Let brotherly love continue. We have to love one another, Israel. The book of Deuteronomy chapter 5 and verse 1. And Moses called all Israel and said unto them, Hear, O Israel, the statutes and judgments which I speak in your ears this day, that ye may learn them and keep them and do them. That's why you will hear us say, we're going to keep the commandments that the Most High commanded. I love my Hebrew Israelite family. They are taking great care of me. Well, my sister, all praises to our Mashiach. Because the Bible says, let brotherly love continue. Those of you who would like to come, we are waiting for you. Now is a good time for you to come to visit your brothers and sisters in South Florida. The address is 2937 Westboard Boulevard. This is where the school is. This is where I'm currently in. This is your house, Israel. This is your house. Those of you who are in North Carolina, if you want to come, come. Those of you who are in Washington, D.C., if you want to come, come. When Israel offers to Mashiach, the title of the class is Prelude to Passover 2023. That means before April the 2nd, take out of your house anything that has yeast. Make sure you have your clothes ready, because God says that we have to have our shoes on. We have to dress up on that day. For brothers, make sure you have your staff in hand. If you are unable to buy stuff, take the stake from your room, come with it as your staff. As a sign to show to the Most High that you want to keep His commandments. You want to follow what He says in the Bible. All praises to Yahweh Mashiach. Indeed, His mercy endures forever. Let's go to the book of Psalm 133. Psalm 133 is a song of degrees, meaning it is one of the songs that we used to sing when we were on our way to Jerusalem. Also, they say that the priests, they used to recite those songs when they were going up on the stairs, when they were on the stairs going into the temple. Let's see what the Most High says in Psalm 133. The book of Psalm, chapter 133, and verse 1. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It is like the precious ointment upon the head that went down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, that went down to the skirt of his garments, as the dew of Hermon, and as the dew that descended upon the mountains of Zion. For there the Most High commanded the blessing, even life forevermore. Bahashem Amashiach Yahawashai Fawada from Yad Amon. Israel, before we end, let's go to the book of Psalm 72 verse 18 very quick. Psalm 72 verse 18. The book of Psalm chapter 72 verse 18. Blessed be the Most High power, the power of Israel, the power of our dear brother Amawatazah. Blessed be the Most High power, the power of Israel, the power of Sister Zakia Banat Adwan. Blessed be the Most High power, the power of Israel, the power of the mother of our dear brother Amawatazah. Blessed be the Most High power, the power of Israel, the power of our Sister Deborah Dennis. Blessed be the Most High power, the power of Israel, the power of all those who are currently watching. Blessed be the Most High power, the power of Israel, the power of the 12 tribes of Israel, the power of the 12 tribes of Israel. Shalom Yasharallah. To donate to this ministry, please do so via Cash App. To donate to the Light of Zion, remember, we are not going to use your phone. We are not going to use your money to enrich ourselves. To donate, when you donate money, we use that money to further the gospel. To donate, do so via $THEELOZ. $THEELOZ. Shalom Yasharallah. We request that the Most High, through Hamashiach, blesses you and keeps you safe during this week. As we are preparing for the Passover, know that everything that we are doing, everything that we have done, everything that the Most High will allow us to do in the future, we did them, we do them, and we will do them for the Most High to Hamashiach. All thanks and glory belong to the Most High to Hamashiach. Shalom Yasharallah. The Passover feast will be held on April the 2nd, 2023 at Chateau de Mort. For any information, please call the Light of Zion at 754-367-4052. We love you in the Most High through Hamashiach. We are here to serve the Most High and to serve you through Hamashiach in the Most High. Shalom.